Hey guys, it's Alex from 7th Hour Films, back again with Stranger Things. Last time on Stranger Things, we had the case of the missing lifeguard. If I could find my notes. 11 and Max are on the case of the missing lifeguard, trying to find Heather, which led them to Billy, and it seems that they're okay, but in the end, when 11 and Max leave, Heather and Billy assault her parents, and I guess they are going to be added to the Mind Flayers' plan. Let's see. Will was never able to really play D&D, and he got pissed and he left, and he tore down Castle Byers. Joyce and Hopper went back to the lab, to the Hawkins lab, to see if there was anyone there causing trouble. And they did encounter one of the Russians who beat the crap out of Hopper. Nancy had no luck selling her story to the douchebags, and her and Jonathan went back to Mrs. Driscoll, and it seems like she has been ratified. I don't know how to say that, but she's acting up. Things are a little weird over there with Mrs. Driscoll. And, back at the mall, Robin, Dustin, and Steve have cracked the code, and they encountered some of the Russians, but they were able to get out of trouble. That's basically that. This is where I say no spoilers in the comments whatsoever. Let's stick to this episode and previous episodes of Stranger Things that I've reacted to. And with that being said, let's get right into this episode of Stranger Things. Here we go.
He seemed wrong. Wrong is kind of like his default, but it's nice to know he's not a murderer, because that would have totally sucked.
I guess that's true, he hasn't murdered anyone. See, luckily, Will already knows that the Mind Flayer's back.
See, this is where you can't just hang out with Mike all the time. This is Wonder Woman, aka Princess Diana. She's from Paradise Island, which is
freaking. Oh, jeez.
Doris, we need you to stay calm for us, okay?
Oh. What's the point of restraints if they don't work? Oh, she wanted to go back there. And that's where they are. Oh, God. This episode is starting off crazy. Jeez, man. Oh, it's like a physical form for the Mind Flayer. Oh, they're being added to the collective goo. God, fuck this show, man.
What's he doing slinking around? Why is he running? You know, why didn't we find anything down there?
Let's ask him.
Oh, what is that?
His license plate.
What are the dashes?
Oh, clever.
They're blanks.
What do you mean it wasn't a car?
Yeah, it was a motorcycle.
Do you copy? This is a code red. I repeat.
Contact anyone.
A code red.
You know what? Yeah, Dustin needs to get the gang back together.
Do you copy?
She turned it off.
Oh, I thought that was Dustin. Oh, no.
Nancy?
Whatever disease that rat had clearly passed to her, and
Five! Mrs. Driscoll is a paranoid schizophrenic. Which brings me to my sixth and final fact.
They're fired.
You're fired. Both of you.
I mean, they said it was a win-win, but I think they were lying to themselves.
It was anything at first.
I closed the gate.
I know, but
He's coming back, though.
what if he never left?
He's still there. That's the thing.
What if we locked him out here with us?
Wait, we locked him here?
This is him. My mom got it out of me.
But it didn't go back to the Upside Down.
The part that was still in me. What if it's still in our world?
Oh.
He was here the other day, rides a motorcycle.
Oh.
Big build, square jaw, dark hair. He's probably military, maybe ex-military. Is this ringing Any bells?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Really?
The mayor is with the Russians who are with the Mind Flayer.
Right before I saw you.
Operate directors. My nose!
Damn.
You broke my goddamn nose! Your friend almost killed me last night, so I'd say we're still not even.
Man, this is pretty. This is pretty risky.
Who is he?
Let's find out. Okay, Pico.
Man.
I swear.
Oh man, he's going off on this dude.
I swear, that's all.
All right then.
Why do they
Jeez.
want this land?
You don't want to mess with these people, Jim.
Just worry about yourself right now. Larry.
Communists.
Not me. The records. Where are they? Oh, he just bumped his head. Just a little boo-boo, right, Larry?
Yeah.
Have a nice day.
You really gotta try to get out of that.
It's bullshit.
No, they're real things, Nancy. Things that you don't care about only because you don't have
I
to.
didn't realize I lived in a bubble.
Well, you do. You want everything handed to you on a silver platter. I mean, we
Damn.
were interns, Nancy. Interns.
Jonathan
What did you
getting
expect
real.
that you would make?
These air ducts lead all the way here.
I would not go in there. A, I don't think I or them would fit. B, I would be fucking claustrophobic.
Here you go. I'm gonna just shove you. Ready?
I don't think that's working, man.
That work?
One more time.
Fellas, ahoy! All hands on deck! Ahoy!
This bitch.
Get over here and serve me some samples.
Oh, send her in.
I don't know.
Hey, shut the door! Come on, kid.
Oh, the sauna.
I think I just threw up in my mouth.
Yeah, it happens.
The controls are right here. It's perfect. Will it get hot enough? 220
Yeah.
degrees. We just have to figure out how to get him in here. When we lock him in, heat him up, no matter what happens. We'll know. We'll know for sure.
That's a good idea, actually. Trap him in a sauna, it'll be too hot. And the Mind Flayer likes it cold.
Child endangerment.
We'll be in radio contact with you the whole time. With no...
Child endangerment.
I mean, she has a point.
Erica?
For life.
Fuck this bitch. Damn it, children are smart. I hate it.
The power plant.
4 nights ago, there was a huge power outage, and the next
Yeah.
day,
Your magnets fell.
I mean, Scott says
There you go.
that this machine
All right,
will take
we're on the
a
case now.
massive amount of power to run.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking about anyone really.
Yeah.
But you're not like that. You're a fighter.
Yeah,
Always
pep
have
talk.
been. I honestly don't know where you get it from.
Tuh.
Dad.
I don't think you guys get
I
anything
think
from
you
your
were
father.
swapped in the hospital. To finish it. Pretty amazing.
Yeah,
So why not?
go do it. Finish it.
Why not? Finish it.
Finish it. Yeah, go do it. Take Jonathan with you, because God, he has nothing else to do right now.
Hopper, he went all crazy on me, telling me I'm spending way too much time with him.
It's
He made me lie. I mean,
What if he's right?
what?
Huh.
No.
don't agree
He's
with
just
Hopper.
an angry old man who hates joy.
But if I only see you, and I'm a different species than you, then I should be with my species more.
What are you talking about?
Damn. Yeah, you gotta be careful. She can listen to you at all
Did you
times.
spy on me? That's totally against the rules.
I make my own rules.
Ooh, damn.
Yeah.
Baby.
She's one of the jazzercisers.
Give me a phone. Baby.
Well, do you want out of there first? Yeah, I think Hop is losing his job. Well, they all need to be PIs. That's the thing.
Behind you.
Hi.
Yeah. Oh. Damn! Knock him down.
Step back.
No.
Seriously.
No! If you die, I die.
Okay.
Yeah. Why would you want that?
What the hell?
It's green.
What is that?
This is not good. Oh. That made another door. Oh. The room moves. They're going down.
It's gonna be okay. I want to help you. I want to help
Uh-oh.
you. Just have to talk to us.
Max,
You
get
have
back.
to talk to us.
Get away from the door!
Let me out, you bitch! Let me out! I'll fucking cut you!
Alright, 11, you're up. Oh, the Mind Flayer's taking more control. And taking more control of her, too. What about the others? Yeah, 11, you're up. Oh! Damn! Oh! Oh, you ain't shit, Mind Flayer. Where are the nurses? Oh, no. He's stronger. Someone do something! Oh!
What the hell, you piece of shit?
Well, you did something. Oh, right through the fucking wall! Oh. Did that get him?
She could have killed me.
Yes. But not us. Not us.
Us. Oh, there's more. Jeez, Heather's been busy apparently. Oh, that's it. All right. Man, I still love what we're doing with this. I still love what we're doing. This new sort of, like, it's not just a beast, even though there is a beast still. But there's more, man. I like it. Okay. 1 second, guys. I still got a few minutes. In a few minutes, I'm gonna have to like stop in the middle of this. Like, I'm gonna have to pause for a second because it's almost noon, and I'm gonna have to publish the last episode of Game of Thrones. So yeah. Anywho, but in the meantime, because I've still got a little bit of time before that, let's talk about this episode. All right, that's halfway through. That's halfway through the season now because there's only 8 episodes, so we're halfway there. And oh god, you can see some of my shit in the background. I just realized. Oh, well, forget about that. Not important. What is important is this episode. Yeah, another great episode. We're about halfway through this. Well, we are halfway through the season now, and I'm glad that it's like, I don't know. I almost feel like, oh man, it's so nice that we're, actually getting into the plot and stuff like that. But at the same time, yeah, this would be about the time that happens. Now, granted, I feel like we took a little bit more time than the other seasons just to, show everyone in their lives and now how they're, getting roped up in, the plot. But I don't know. I guess last episode we had Hopper and Joyce going to the lab. That was, starting them on the plot. We had Nancy and Jonathan finding Mrs. Driscoll. That was pretty plot oriented, and 11 and Max on the case of Heather. So yeah, now it seems like, okay, Nancy is doing her own thing. Joyce and Hopper are doing their thing, and then now at least the gang is doing their stuff. Now we've got the guys and the gals, working together, so that's good. And that is really good because, if it means we can put some of their conflicts behind us for a little while, because as much as I do like this whole trying to figure out the relationship with Mike and 11, and trying to help Will with growing up, basically, it's like, yeah, but what about the plot? So I'm glad that they're finally doing that now. Now that they're on the case of the Mind Flayer, basically. So yeah. So let's go over. Well, actually, it's about to turn noon. So just give me a second. I'm probably not going to edit this at all. But yeah. So final episode of Game of Thrones is about to go public on YouTube. Which is crazy. And the first episode of Merlin's about to go up on Patreon. But you will have already known that if you're on Patreon or YouTube. If you're on YouTube, then this is, old news to you, I guess, because of when I record these. So, yeah. So, yeah, one second, it's going to turn noon. Any second now. Any second now. There it goes. Alright, publish. Come on. There we go. Alright, good. And let me do the tweet. One sec. Come on, load up. Alright. That's the final episode of Game of Thrones. That's crazy, man. Oh well. Shit happens. It's a weird response. Let's get into the notes, for God's sake. This is Stranger Things we're talking about, not Game of Thrones. So yeah, Stranger Things. Alright, so on to my notes. The first thing I wrote down was physical body. Because it kind of seemed like that, didn't it? When they were basically adding her parents to the collective, it seemed like, when the new creature, was coming forward, it kind of looked like it was in the shape of the Mind Flayer, but instead of being, this sort of smoke monster, basically, it's made of meat and flesh and stuff like that, so it's all gooey and gross, but it did seem to have that shape. So it seems like the Mind Flayer is basically making a body, which is interesting. Yeah, I wrote down the code red, which is good that they got the girls in on that. Initially, I thought it was Dustin. And I thought he was doing a code red about the Russians. And I was like, oh, finally, Dustin's going to, get the gang back together, get them to stop dealing with their crap. And it's like, oh, wait, no. It's the guys calling them and calling Dustin. Calling Max, 11, and Dustin because they need to get together because the Mind Flayer is back. So, yeah. So that makes sense. I wrote down fired. Nancy and Jonathan were fired from their jobs at the Hawkins Post, which, Jonathan brought up the point early on when they were pursuing the story. He was like, hey, what if we get fired because we did this? And Nancy's just like, well, then it'll be good because we don't have to work at that shit job anymore. So it's like, yeah, that was more just that's what she thought, but she didn't actually believe that, and that was definite here, where it's like, yeah, she didn't want to be fired from her job, but she didn't want to be fired from her job, but she also just hated it. She hated working at the Hawkins Post, and yeah. So if Mrs. Driscoll was a schizophrenic, why would she be living alone? I feel like you shouldn't do that. I don't know. I will say, like, I don't know how much of the conversation with the main guy, whatever his name was. Did they do a cast list here? I don't think they do. Netflix, do a cast list so I can see. Amazon does a cast list, and I love that. It's actually why I'm watching Merlin on Amazon Prime and not Netflix, so I can always bring up a cast list. Because Amazon Prime is just better. So yeah. So do that, Netflix. Give me a cast list. But yeah, the main guy at the Hawkins Post, you know, the whole thing is, as we stated in this episode, the Mind Flayer only takes control when he needs the person. Like, he won't just take control, like, all the time, and now he has to be that person. But, you know, he tries to basically hide. He blends in. He comes out when he needs to. So, that's the thing, is I imagine, like, pretty much, like, yes, some of that, you know, crazy intensity that the guy had, yes, I'm sure most of that came from the Mind Flayer affecting him. But at the same time, I think all of that in his speech was just him, basically, if that makes any sense. Like, that was all him saying, you know, giving all these reasons why Nancy and Jonathan had screwed up, and why they had screwed up and why they were getting fired and stuff like that. And, you know, the lawsuit, basically, that was being filed because of what happened to Mrs. Driscoll. So, yeah. I think it's a little convenient, though that Mrs. Driscoll is a schizophrenic. Then it's like, oh, well, you can just chalk it up all to this. It's like, okay, well, what if she wasn't? Like, what if they didn't add that little characteristic to her? It's like, how would you explain that away, basically? Because that was a bit more than schizophrenia. So, yeah. I don't know. I also wrote down, finish it. Finish it! That's how the Green Goblin says it. I wrote down, finish it. That was a nice talk between Nancy and Karen about, you know, just finishing the story. It's like, all right, well, you don't need those shitheads. You know, just go out, do it on your own, basically, and then come back and then, you know, sell it to, what was it, like the Indiana Star or something like, or the Indianapolis Star or whatever, and just do that and then just show them up, basically. Because, see, you know, a couple episodes ago, I was like, oh, why don't they just become PIs? It's like, you know, yeah, they should just be private eyes, and, you know, they're investigating this stuff, and then there you go. I understand, you know, they're trying to do it as a reporter so that, you know, they can get the news out, because that is a bit of a difference between a private eye and a reporter, is that a private eye is private, you know? Whereas a reporter, they're trying to solve this case and, you know, present it to the public, basically. So, yeah, it's like she basically needs to become her own reporter, but she needs to be like a freelance reporter, I guess. Is freelance reporting even a thing? I guess, maybe. But, I don't know. She needs to figure out somehow how to be a reporter without having basically any of these problems. But she does need to get better at it, basically. Like, you know, she needs to learn, like, she needs to know, like, everything she needs to know before she starts a case. Like, okay, she should have known that Mrs. Driscoll was schizophrenic. And maybe that would have, you know, led her to not pursue the case. Or or stuff like that. But it's like she needs to know all the facts going into a case, like all the facts she can. I'm not saying like, oh, she needs to know all the facts, because if you know all the facts, the fuck are you doing investigating? But you get what I mean. Like, she needs to learn everything she can before she really starts going in. That way there shouldn't actually be a lot of surprises, I guess. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. And this is from a guy who knows nothing about investigating and reporting. You know, it is one of those things where it's like, I have no idea anything about that. I probably can't really say, you know, I'm just some guy on the internet who's talking about shows. But I think that should be a thing, that you learn as much as you can and then go into it more. That way, you know, you're not blindsided by facts, you know, more obvious facts like the fact that she was schizophrenic. So, yeah. So yeah, she went off and she's going to go finish the story. And then she was there while Mrs. Driscoll was freaking the fuck out. And those nurses never went in there. Like, she's pressing the fucking button and no one is getting in there. It's like, yeah, freaking come in and see if that's schizophrenia. Okay. Something in my eye. Well, now the other eye itches. Damn it. And now my ear itches. Alright. What do we got next? The new host. I wrote that down. That makes sense that, you know, last season, you know, we had Will as the host, so now the Mind Flayer is trying to find a new host. Sorry. I do like the actual explanation that it's like, yeah, you know, the Mind Flayer, you know, basically put a piece of himself into Will, and then, you know, they got it out, but at the same time, it didn't have anywhere to go. It couldn't return to the Upside Down, to the Mind Flayer, because the Upside Down was closed off. 11 closed the gate. So that's the thing, is the Mind Flayer in the Upside Down is basically stuck there. But there is still a part of him left in the normal world. And I think now it's like it's basically coming up with its own plan, getting, you know, new hosts, basically, with its main host being Billy. And it seems to be sort of creating a physical body, and maybe it's trying to release the rest of itself, basically. Reopen the Upside Down. You know, maybe that's part of, what the Russians are doing, you know, because we saw that at the beginning. They seem to be opening up a way into the Upside Down, so yeah. We had Hopper versus Klein. That was interesting, that at a point, Hopper just started beating the shit out of him until he got answers, which is kind of crazy. I mean, Hopper can really lose his job over this, but he did need to get answers, you know? And hey, I guess if Klein has any... If Mayor Klein has any connection to this, then probably take him down too. So yeah. I don't know. It is a little... It's a little like, okay, well, should you really be beating up the mayor to do this? But at the same time, they do need to, you know, crack this case now. So yeah. I wrote down infiltrate, getting the girl, Lucas's sister, Erica. That's it. Erica. You can't spell America without Erica. I like Dustin's realization. It's like, yeah, I guess you can. Huh. It's like, that's just a fun little thing. Can't spell America without Erica. Yeah, so sending her in to infiltrate was interesting. I mean, I don't know. I've always, like... Because, see, here's the thing. I know that the actress's name is in the opening credits. You know, she's one of the top billed actors now. And I always thought that was interesting, and I was like, that's weird. She only shows up to get ice cream, and it's like, and she's in the opening credits? Like, alright, I guess she's got a damn good agent. Which is also the thing, like, the actress that plays Karen Wheeler, she's always, since episode 1, has been in the opening credits, and I've always been like, I guess she's a name actor that I've never heard of, or she's got a damn good agent or something, because it's like, she's just kind of there. She has a bit more screen time in this season, but still, it's like, alright, that's just kind of weird, and it's like, yeah, this little girl, and it's like, I guess she's part of the plot now. I hope they kind of drop her, though, because she's annoying. But they infiltrated the room, found the green, and now I guess they're going to whatever the hell is below Starcourt Mall. So, yeah. Excuse me. Alright. I've been yawning a lot lately. I'm sorry about that. I really wish I could stop, but sometimes you just gotta yawn. I don't know. I wrote down the sauna. That was really clever, actually. Using the sauna to test if he was the host for the Mind Flayer. Because, yeah, the Mind Flayer, he likes cold. He doesn't like heat. That's how they drove him out of Will, was by heating Will up so much. And eventually Nancy just took a friggin' burning poker and just jabbed him with it. So, yeah, so it makes sense using a sauna, getting the temperature up so high and doing that. That was very clever, doing that. We had a little bit between Mike and Eleven about, Mike revealing that it was Hopper that wanted them to spend less time together, and, Eleven being like, maybe it's for the best, basically. It's like, maybe I need to be with, maybe I need to hang out with girls. It's like, and yeah, that probably is for the best. It probably is good to hang out with people of her species or her gender, basically. It's good to have some girlfriends, basically. She can't always hang out with Mike, which, was even obvious when, Max was showing her Wonder Woman, and it's like, see, this is why you can't hang out with Mike all the time. It's like, you need to learn about Wonder Woman, which it's like, I don't know. You would kind of think that, I don't know. I guess there could be a stigma against Wonder Woman for kids. I don't know, because that whole bullshit thing of like, oh, well, boys will only watch stuff with boys in it, and they won't watch stuff, which I think, this is a bit off topic, there's a bit of a tangent, but, that was, kind of the thought process when, Nickelodeon was making The Legend of Korra, the sequel to Avatar: The Last Airbender, and the studio was like, hey, I think you need to change Korra into a guy so that guys will watch this. Guys won't watch a show with a female lead. And then the creators were like, fuck that. And they kept Korra a girl, and a bunch of guys watched it, including me. I love Korra, Great character, great show. I love Korra. But, yeah, it's like... And that's the thing, too. It's like, it is sort of... I will say, it is sort of a fault on our society, basically, that would be a thing. That, oh, boys, they don't want to watch stuff with girls in it. And it's like, well, fucking let them watch whatever they fucking want to watch. Just fuck it. Which, I mean, that was also the thing. Even I'm guilty of that when I was a kid. Which, okay, I'm not. I don't know how guilty I am. It's just, it's just what I thought. I was a kid. I didn't know any better. Nowadays, I'm like, who fucking cares, But back when I was a kid, yeah, it was kind of... And I'm not saying, I'm not, trying to make this a point. This is such a fucking tangent. I don't know, where the fuck did this come from? But whatever. I'm not trying to say, oh, this is the fault of... I'm not trying to put this on, my parents or, anything. I'm putting this on society, really. I'm putting this on fucking companies, basically. I'm putting this on companies that think that boys only want to watch boys. Damn it, maybe sometimes we want to watch girls. Fucking I watched... Oh, what the fuck was... Oh, I didn't watch this. Because it was ingrained in my mind. I was indoctrinated when I was a kid. No, I'm being overdramatic. I remember, like, I'd be, like, embarrassed to watch, like, Totally Spies. Which I can't attest if that was a good show or not. But I remember I would watch a couple episodes of it, and yeah, it was kind of... I was just like, oh, but it's a girl show. It's for girls. I'm not a girl. And it's just like, fucking watch whatever you fucking want to watch. Now, again, I have no idea if Totally Spies was a good show or not. If it wasn't a good show, then you don't watch it. But still, it's like, who fucking cares? You know? Just fucking... Who gives a damn? It's like, that's the thing. So... Man, I just went off on fucking... Like, I went on a tangent about society and societal constructs of, like, shit. Man, all this because friggin' Eleven didn't know about Wonder Woman. Man, that's crazy. I did watch Zoe 101 as a kid. That was, like, the only... I feel like that was the only show with, like, a female lead that I watched when I was a kid. Because I was a teenager when Korra came out. And by then, I didn't give a shit. But, yeah, I feel like I did watch Zoe 101, but that was it. Well, okay, I guess iCarly counts. Of course iCarly counts. That might have been when I was older, though. The main thing I remember, though, is I didn't watch Totally Spies. Like, occasionally I'd watch it, but I'd be like, oh, I shouldn't watch this. It's for girls. And it's just like, fuck you. Fuck you, me. It's like, just watch whatever you want to watch. If you don't want to watch that, it's fine. But if you don't want to watch it because, oh, it's girls, then fuck you. Just, if you don't want to watch it, it's probably because it's not a good show. Where did these tangents come from? Last time we went on a tangent about high school. Now I'm going on a tangent about societal constructs of gender and shit. Man, Stranger Things. How do you pull these out of me? How do you pull these tangents out of me? What the fuck ever. The last thing I wrote down was Billy versus 11. That was a fight. That was like her first fight too, I feel like. Yeah, nothing. She's never had an actual fight, like, with her powers. Because even like the Demogorgon, she pinned against the wall and then killed. And then the Mind Flayer last season's like, well, that really wasn't a fight. She just, just closed the gate and stuff like that, while Hopper's, taking care of all the fucking Demodogs. But yeah, that was an actual, like, fight with Billy, who's, buff as fuck and really strong, too, with the help of the Mind Flayer. She's pushing a fucking giant weight back at him, and he just... Oh, he's so goddamn strong and torqued. Oh, fuck. He's so much more of a compelling character now. Like, I really like what they've done. And he's such a dick. Like, if you were going to have anyone possessed by the main villain, it's like, you want this guy. But yeah, so that was fun. And Mike coming in with the assist. And then 11 just throwing him through a fucking wall. And then he's just like, shit, I gotta get out of here. So yeah, that was really clever. I really liked that fight. That was a fucking fight. I loved it. Yeah. I guess that's that. Yeah, that's pretty much all I wrote. Another great episode. I'm very curious where we're going. We're halfway through the season, which is pretty cool, pretty fun. And yeah, I'm very curious as to where it goes from here. Fucking, we got corrupt mayors, Russians, the Collective, the Mind Flayer. It's all crazy, man. It's all crazy. But all we need is to converge. Every season of Stranger Things, we have to have the plot lines converge. I hope, like, next season, they just, like, converge immediately. It's like whatever cases they're working on, they all just show up immediately, and they're just like, so does your case relate to my case? And they all just, like, trade notes, and they're like, yep, all right, let's go. Oh, I hope so. Because that's the thing. Every season, we have to, like, get together, basically. We have to get together in the end and win. So, yeah. Which I guess if we have... I think we have, like, 4 groups, basically. We have Nancy, who right now is solo, but I imagine she's going to bring in Jonathan. We have the Scoops gang, consisting of Dustin, Robin, Steve, and Erica now. We have Hopper and Joyce doing their thing. And then we have the gang, consisting of Mike, 11, Max, Lucas, and Will. I blanked on his name for a sec. And they're doing their thing with the Mind Flayer. So it's like, yeah, so we have rats, Russians, shady dudes, Starcourt also going to be connected to the Russians, and the Mind Flayer. So yeah. Yeah, that's a lot, and I'm curious as to where we're going with that. Yeah, with all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch more of my Stranger Things reactions, you can click on the playlist, you can subscribe if you haven't done that already, and be sure you hit that notification bell. You can support me on Patreon and follow me on social media, links below in the description. See you guys later.